Alrighty, welcome back to another video. We have the new Covenant summons that are out, and we finally are going back to Construct Heroes. Man, it's been a long time since we had actual decent Construct Heroes that, people won't just glance at it and like pretty much say, yeah, it's pretty outdated right now. I mean, if you look at the Covenant summon now, Covenant summons are where you would typically get your construct heroes, and if you could see past the six featured heroes right now, you will see that the latest one that came out was Garn before this. So at 1431 power, that's pretty dated. Yeah. You can see, Rhine Glow, Scoria. I think Scoria was pretty decent at some point. And then the rest were, and then Nautica. I think Nautica was pretty impactful. People still use them. I still use Nautica. I have two Nauticas maxed, and I still use for pretty much every war except for Bloody Wars and Rush Wars. And then yeah, the Shal is pretty amazing right now because of the good thing about construct heroes, I feel, is the passive here. Resist special skill blocking in a meta where there's a lot of Saris, there's a lot of Songjang, and hopefully, if they kind of fix this to also prevent the painting from Bernadette, then construct heroes are pretty decent in this, time and day. The only thing is that the stats are pretty much outdated compared to, like, you look at Riverfang 1609, you look at Fafnir 1589. The lowest would probably be Dagger 1543 and Quarry 1523. That's still a whole 100 team power higher, which means their attack stat, defense stat, and health stat are pretty much higher than the likes of like Skarn, and you go all the way back to like uh what do you call this? Yeah, Gilag, for example, which I have two maxed, and even Ferris. No, don't talk about this one. Yeah, so I think with the new introduction of construct heroes, let's see if they are any different from the previous construct that we had. Now, Ironheart was spoiled a few days ago in the announcements, so it was pretty interesting to see how much it has changed from the beta, and I believe it has changed quite a bit. Now, I don't want to go through too much about his stats and whatsoever, but the good thing I believe was that the minion core has changed. Now, it used to give a much lower HP and higher attack, but it was only for the caster. I mean, it was only for Ironheart, but now I believe they have balanced it out a little bit. 22% HP for inherited from him, so 2834 health. 22% is about 4 to 500 health, which is actually pretty decent, and 55% attack. Now, what's so good about this is not so much of the attack, but the fact that before the killer bot minion hits a target, it destroys all minions from the target and damages mega minions. And how it damages, usually this is taking 50% health off the mega minion, so that's actually pretty decent. If you have two minions to hit, it usually takes out one mega minion. I like that it produces the minion to all allies, so that means you get 5 if all allies are still alive, so that's actually pretty okay. And it's good that they have this empowered resist special skill blocking, so you are immune to special skill blocking, and you also gain 450 boosted health and 5% mana each time they resist. So something similar to how, like, I think the Beowulf family, Beowulf, Fawn, and Dwarf family works with mana reduction. So this one is, as long as you don't take silence, as long as you take silent ailments or something like that, something similar, you get 450 boosted health and 5% mana. So that's actually, it actually, you can actually force kind of like Songjang or Saris to kind of hit him, and that speeds him up a little bit. So that's interesting. Now, the special skill, not so much. Deals 500% damage to 2 random enemies, which means you can't target who he hits, which counteracts the second part. If an enemy is defeated by the attack, you gain 30% health and 30% mana. Now, with the current patch, they do have an additional sort of like patch that they did for the mana, in which case 5 direct mana increments from special skill. After the fifth one, it will reduce significantly, which means they want to stop the infinite mana loop from happening, which I can honestly see. um, you know, people were starting to do that infinite mana loop for mythic titans, for tower events, so I guess they're trying to use that to kind of reduce that form of mana loops to make us more, suffer a bit more when doing these kind of events. But anyways, the best part about him, I feel, would be the all allies counter attack with 100% of the damage received for 4 turns. That actually makes him worthy of a tank for Bloody Wars. I know in Bloody Wars you're not going to gain health, but that again, 500% damage to 2 random enemies, he might hit 2 full health enemies, and you're not going to gain the health anyways. But yeah, I like the counter attack. It's actually to all allies, which is better than just to nearby. The good thing about him, and one thing to maybe consider, is if you're hitting into a taunt. If let's say the opponent has a taunt, let's say he has Li Kui up, or something like Oniwakamaru, if you cast this, will you hit 500% damage to that particular target, or you're hitting him twice with this 500% damage? That would be interesting to see in the taunt, because usually they will have some form of wording there. Would need to test that out to see how that actually functions. Now, if it is twice, then that'll be interesting. You might be able to, engineer some sort of like a takedown of the taunt, in which case you're good to go. You can use the rest of your allies to kind of target the rest of the defense, or to target the rest of the heroes that you're facing. Or if it's just only one, then is not pretty good. So I would say this is a bit meh. It's not a Gurik, so it's not as resilient as a Gurik. But in Bloody Wars, if you need to run a yellow tank, then I think Ironheart might place himself somewhere in the A tier together with Motsognir, or maybe even I don't know if Sludges I would consider Sludges to be a top tank for Bloody Wars. The dodge is nice, but I mean, if you don't have a heal, then you're not going to keep Sludges alive for very long. So it would be interesting to see if Ironheart makes it to be a tank for Bloody Wars. Unfortunately, Bloody Wars has ended its rotation by the time Ironheart is released, so we have to wait for the next Bloody War cycle to see whether Ironheart will be, an interesting tank in that position. So we'll see how it is. Now, the rest of the featured is actually pretty decent. I mean, Riverfang is pretty strong. Fafnir in this current state is actually pretty strong. Reitmar, we do see some alliances running Reitmar tanks as opposed to running Bernadette or Gurik. Yet to see if it's actually completely viable, but I know multiple Reitmars might be difficult to take on. Dagger is pretty interesting, and then Quarry is still actually pretty relevant because of the growth. So a very good set. Covenant Summons has always been good in terms of the 6 featured heroes here. I don't think there has been much Covenant Summons where the 6 featured are like completely trash. So it's actually pretty okay, and I've known some people would definitely benefit from. A lot of people would definitely benefit from getting any one of these 6 featured. Alongside, some, let's not discount some of the the older construct heroes that you might see here. I think getting Shal is pretty okay. Getting Nautica is still fine. Getting Scoria is pretty decent. Getting Rhine-Glow, it's okay. Skarn is also, if you can produce a good stack with Skarn, that's actually pretty awesome. So we do have 13 pools here. I've been saving up because I didn't do the previous pools for Covenant Summons. So let's see what we can get now. Hoping to get Ironheart. Maybe we can level him up. Otherwise, I wouldn't say no to a Quarry, honestly. So let's see. I already have 2 Fafnir's max, so I'm not looking to get another Fafnir. I don't think I'll level the 3rd one. Riverfang, I also have 2 already, so I don't need a second I don't need a 3rd Riverfang. Be nice to get Ironheart to see. I am currently leveling Iga from my Gem Summon Challenge pick. But if I do get Ironheart, I might consider switching over to Ironheart instead of Iga, because I'm thinking of running him in sort of like a suicide squad. You cast the counter attack, and then you go against defenses where there's a lot of heavy attackers, and then you watch them just destroy themselves with having a boosted heal from another hero. That'll be interesting to consider. But yeah, doesn't look like we're getting anything meaningful right now, so yeah, maybe in the future. Oh my god. I have one Blossom already that I have on the bench. She's not getting leveled. I mean, when she first came out, I was pretty skeptical of Blossom in the beginning. I guess you could level her as a healer that doesn't get silence, but the stats are pretty low. Let's have a look at Blossom. Let's look at the double limit broken stats for Blossom, and then I'll see. Oh my god. Oh, yeah, I take my words back. I'm leveling Ironheart right now. Oh, it's been a while since I recorded pools that are actually pretty decent. Woohoo! We got the Ironheart, so I'm gonna level Ironheart, and then we're gonna do some test videos on Ironheart. We're gonna run Ironheart and see what we can do out of see what we can come up with, what teams we can come up with. I'll try to level him up as soon as I can. Probably not double limit break though. I'm running out of ethers. Maybe single limit break first, and then we'll see what happens there. Oh, but this has been an awesome pool. Awesome 13 pools. Well, I guess yeah, I don't need to spend anything else on it. Oh, and good trainer heroes as well. Wow, I'm taking that. All right. So, well, good luck if you're doing any summons. I think I've got what I wanted. So before that, let's take a look at Blossom. Just want to, since I got Blossom, and some people might be wondering whether she's okay to level up. I think she's okay. Now, the thing is, I wish it was cleanse instead of dispel. I remember she was being good in, like, when she first came out, was because you can't disable her, you can't silence her, and you could essentially just dispel buffs from enemies. The problem is right now in Gurik, in the state of where Gurik is the meta, you can't dispel Gurik's slime revive, but you can dispel the rest of the other buffs, in which case you can combine her with something like maybe Raul to kind of cancel out but if you're already using Raul, you don't need to dispel. So you could use this if the team is paired up with, like, let's say for example, if Gurik is being flanked by Dulafur and Dulafur has gone off, so you can use Blossom to dispel the ailment block, and then use Raul to kind of, like, cancel out the slime revive. So that will be something interesting here. We have yet to see a red dancer that will be interesting, because Charlotte, I believe, it's not Charlotte, Charlotta, I think is her name was. The red, it's slow, the slow dancer, I believe. I'm not sure whether it gives a ballad or it gives a dance. I can't remember, but yeah. Not sure if she heals a lot, so might be good against the current fiend makers like the vegetables, Bartholomew or Elspeth. But other than that, yeah, not really leveling her. But I am gonna level Ironheart, so maybe catch that out in the next couple of weeks. I'll try to churn out Ironheart as fast as I can, and then we can do some test runs here. But pretty good summons altogether, not going to complain. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck in your pulls. Do let me know if you get anything good from this portal. Covenant summons has always been kind to me. I've gotten quite a lot of my new heroes based on the Covenant summons and not exactly on the portals where they came out from. So all the best with the pulls, and I will catch you guys in the next video. GG.